Let's go and talk about long division. I know when I mention long division, students hate long division. They groan, they moan. They're like, I don't want to learn long division. It takes too long. I keep on forgetting how to do it. I get it. So in this video, I want to work through the basics. I want to explain long division. I want to work through it step by step. So therefore you have a good grasp of what you're doing, what you're trying to achieve, and how to do it step by step. So I'm going to work through kind of three processes, just like if we were in the classroom and I was your personal teacher. I am going to work through this exactly how I would teach my students, introducing long division. So if you are unfamiliar with long division and you want to learn how to do it with polynomials, this video is great. And if you're one of those students that's like, I just do synthetic division, like forget long division, then you're going to want to watch this video as well because you need to know your long division. All right. So let's go and start off with something basic. Just a quick little division problem of polynomials. If I had 2x squared minus a 4x minus 1, all divided by 2x. The reality is, ladies and gentlemen, we don't need to do long division for this problem, right? We have a polynomial divided by this monomial in this case. We can actually rewrite this as a division statement just by dividing all of these terms in our numerator all being divided by 2x. So watch. What happens here is I don't need to do long division. I will. But notice if you have something like this, this 2x is dividing into each and every one of these terms. So we have a minus 4x divided by 2x. Think of it like the division property, the distributive property with division, right? When I'm taking this whole term separated by addition or subtraction or addition, there's no addition, but it could be addition. This 2x divides into each and every one of these terms. So the final answer here, 2x squared divided by 2x, right? Now, again, use the rules of exponents, right? X squared divided by x is just going to be x. The 2's divide to 1. That's your division property. So that's going to give me a x to the first power. Therefore, this is going to give me the x's here divide out. So that's going to give me an x minus 2. And then over here, you can see we have this negative 1 over 2x. Can't do anything else with it. So 1 over a 2x. Okay. Now let's go through the long division algorithm just so we can kind of get used to how we would do that in this format. So I have a 2x squared minus a 4x minus 1. Okay, so the way that we work with long division, if we didn't want to do it this way, even though that's what we want to do, you're going to take your first term here and you're going to divide it into 2x squared. Now, again, a lot of students get confused when we do division like this instead of doing division like that. So I always tell students, like, if you get confused, just write what you're trying to do. How many times does 2x go into 2x squared? Oh, I don't know. That's now confusing, Mr. McLogan. That's fine. Go and rewrite it in a vertical format. And then you can be like, oh, it's just like over there. Okay, that's simply just going to be an x. Now, when we get our first term of our quotient, we need to multiply it by our terms of our divisor. So x times a 2x is going to give me a 2x squared. And to know that you did synthetic or long division correctly, when you multiply that back, that first term is always going to be exactly the same as what it is over here. Now what we're going to do is just subtract our rows. Now you might say, well, Mr. McLogan, what do I put here? Well, we could put space values in here, or you could just bring them down. For this example, I'm just going to use space values. We don't have an x, so I'm going to put a 0x, and then I'm going to plus 0. So you can see what I'm kind of subtracting from. In the next example, I'll just bring them down because you can see it's kind of redundant. So 2x squared minus a 2x squared is obviously a 0x squared, right? It basically just goes to 0. Negative 4x minus a 0x is just a negative 4x. So you can see how these are really just being the exact same. Negative 1 minus a 0 is just going to be a negative 1. Now that's round 1 of our long division. Now we got to do it again. 2x divides into a negative 4. How many times does that happen? Well, again, just do the math over here. Negative 4x divided by a 2x, right? It's exactly what you did over here, right? That goes in there negative 2 times. Now we got to take this number and multiply it back. Negative 2 times a 2x is going to be a negative 4x. And then that's it. So subtract our rows. We'll put a 0 here as our space value. Negative 4x minus, got to make sure I always like to put everything in parentheses and then put the negative on the outside because it's not negative 4x minus 4x. That'd be a negative 8x. It's negative 4x minus a negative 4x. Double negative makes that positive. So therefore, that's going to give us a 0x, which we know just goes to 0. Negative 1 minus 0 is just negative 1. Now, this is what we call our remainder. And you can see the right answer is negative 1 over 2x. So what we're going to do is simply take your remainder. So minus, a lot of times I like to do plus and then put the negative up there, but plus and negative is the same thing as subtraction. So we're going to have a 1 over, and then you take your remainder over your divisor, 1 over 2x. And you can see, ladies and gentlemen, these are exactly the same. Okay, so that's how we do long division with a monomial. Let's go and work on something really easy with a binomial. So this would be question number 2. And let's do something simple. So if I had x squared minus 6x plus 5 divided by 8x minus 5. Okay, now ladies and gentlemen, in this case, again, I would not do synthetic division, because when we want to divide polynomials, well, the best thing we want to do is always look to see if we can factor things. Always look to see if we can break things down. And hopefully you recognize here, this quadratic trinomial immediately is like a ding, ding, ding. Is this factorable? What two numbers multiply to give me a positive 5, add to give me a negative 6? And immediately I can see this is going to be a x minus 5 times an x minus 1 divided by a x minus 5. Now, again, using the division property, since my two factors up here are separated, or they are factors, since they're separated by multiplication, I can divide across them. So I'm just going to put parentheses around my divisor so you can see that these are the exact same expression, so I can divide it. It's just like if I had a 3x over 3, right? The 3's will divide out. Just be careful though, ladies and gentlemen. Again, quick little mistake. If this was like a x plus 3 over 3, you cannot divide out your terms. This does not equal an x, okay? You cannot do that, all right? Because it's separated by multiplication or addition. You have to have your term separated by multiplication to be able to apply the division property. That's just very, very important, but that's why factoring is important, right? You can see these are separated by subtraction and addition. I can't divide out my terms. I can't divide out the x's or divide out the 5's. I have to factor it so it's a product. Now I can apply the division property. Little side point. Let's get into the long division. So long division is going to be a little bit different though if I'm going to be using a binomial rather than what we did up top was a monomial. So again, you're going to take your divisor and then put your dividend in under the long division bar. All right, now we have a little bit of variation. Now we know the answer, right? We could divide this really easily, but let's go through the process here because students are usually okay with long division when it's the monomial, but it's this divisor part that gets us confused. So a couple points. Make sure you always have your divisor and your dividend in descending order. That means you have the highest power first, going down in descending order. And you can see I have x to the first, then my constant, x squared, x to the first, and then my constant. So we're good to go. So when I am doing this, what I'm going to do is I'm only going to divide the first term of my divisor. How many times does x go into x squared? Again, if it's like confusing to you, just write it out over here. How many times does x go into x squared? Oh, that's going to be x times. Now I multiply the x times both terms, right? Since I have two terms here, I got to take my first term, my quotient, multiply it by both terms. So x times x is an x squared. That's exactly the same, just like in the previous example. That's what I want. And x times a negative 5, which is going to be a negative 5x. Again, we're going to put parentheses around here. Now in this case, I'm not going to put a plus 0 and subtract it. I'm just going to bring down the 5, okay? It just is a lot easier. So we're going to subtract our rows. X squared minus x squared is 0x squared, but we don't need to write it, right? Just leave it off. Negative 6x minus a negative 5. Again, that's a double negative, so that's why it's positive. If you don't put this negative here in parentheses, you're going to get this wrong. And that's the most common mistake students make. So spend the extra time, write the parentheses, and make sure you're subtracting your rows, right? It's not negative 11x. It's negative 6 minus a negative 5. That's positive. So that's a negative x. And then we have our plus 5 over here. How many times does x divide into a negative x? I don't know. That's kind of confusing. Write it on over here. How many times does negative x divide into negative? How many times does x divide into a negative x? That's going to be a negative 1 time. Now, again, take your quotient, multiply it by both terms. Negative 1 times x is a negative x. Negative 1 times negative 5 is going to be a positive 5. Ladies and gentlemen, when we go ahead and subtract those, 0, 0, that is your remainder. We don't need to write anything out. And that is going to be your quotient. And you can see that's exactly what we had over here, which I don't know why I didn't write that in there. X minus 1, right? So divide it out, you get it good. Over here, you get it good. So that is the simplistic understanding and examples of long division. Now let's go and do one that's a little bit more fun, right? We got to have some fun in doing long division. So in this case, let's do something that is a little bit bigger. So we have 2x to the fourth plus a 6x cubed minus a 3x squared minus 3x minus 2. And we're going to divide this all by a 2x squared minus 1. Okay, so I can't divide this into each and every one of those terms because it's not a monomial. I could try to look into factoring this, But this doesn't look very nice, factorable. It's going to be across irrational numbers here and with fractions in the denominator, and then factoring polynomials up to 5 terms in the numerator, requires some special attention. So I probably wouldn't designate too much headspace into trying to, trying to simplify this by factoring. And again, too, it could have a remainder, right? So therefore, it's not even going to be factorable at all. So you just always got to be cautious of that. But if you see something that's visually factorable, then feel free to go and give it a shot. So let's go ahead and set up the long division algorithm, and let's work through this step by step. Now, again, this is going to be a lot. So we're going to do the long division on multiple steps. Okay, so that's why this is a great problem to practice through. And what I tell my students is, they practice long division with maybe like a couple examples. If you need to do multiple of these types of examples, that has multiple steps. And I'm telling you, if you just do like 5 to 10 of them, you're going to understand it. You're going to get it. You're going to be more confident, and you're going to be able to do the simple problems much, much, much faster. Okay. So it is a step-by-step algorithm. Let's just go through it and get comfortable doing it. So again, just like in the last example, we always take our first term and we always divide that into the first term of your dividend. So 2x squared divides into a 2x to the fourth. Again, I'm just going to write it out here because students, this is like one of the common mistakes students get. What is this going to be? Oh, that's just an x squared, right? 2's divide out, x to the fourth divided by x squared is x squared. Now again, multiply by both terms. X squared times 2x squared is a 2x to the fourth. It's the exact same. That's what I want. X squared times -1 is a negative x. Now I don't want to put it here because those are not like terms, right? So I want to make sure I put that over here. Again, could you put a 0x cubed there and a 0x and a 0? Yes, you could use your place values, but for simplicity purposes, I am just going to bring them down. Okay, so I'm just going to put an arrow and just bring down because you're subtracting them from 0, right? It's pretty simple. That's going to go to 0, so we're good here. So I have a 6x cubed, negative 3x. Again, these negatives, they get everybody. That's a double negative, so it's a positive. So it's a negative 2x. So a negative 2x, right? Because 3x and then plus x is a negative 2x squared. And then we have a minus a 3x and minus 2. Okay, that's round number 1. Let's do that. Round number 1. Now let's do green for round number 2. How many times does 2x divide into a 6x cubed? So 6x cubed divided by 2x. Well, 6 divided by 2 is a positive 3. So we have a 3 here. And therefore, that's going to be an x squared. Wait a minute. What did I do wrong? Should that have been a cubed? No, that's an x squared. And then, I did something wrong. So did I write? No, x to the fourth, 6x squared. Crap. What did I do here? X squared. No, it's a 2x squared. Jeez, I forgot it right there. There we go. So therefore, that's going to be a positive 3x. We're good. Now, take this 3x and multiply by both of these terms. I actually should show that with the red because that's what I did with the red. So let's just do that. Multiply by both of them. Okay, that's what I did in the previous step. All right, so when I multiply 3x times everything there, I'm going to get a 6x cubed. And that doesn't look like a 3, but there we go. And then a 3x times -1 is a negative 3x. And again, I don't have anything for the x squared, so I'm just going to leave it off. Okay, subtract our rows. This is going to go to 0, so we know we're good. We're going to bring these down. So therefore, that's a negative 2x squared. That's going to give us a 0x. That's interesting, right? Negative minus a negative, that's a positive. Positive 3x or negative 3x minus a positive 3x is, or negative 3x plus a positive 3x. I guess the way you can think about it, it's just going to be 0x. So I'll leave that off. And then we can bring down our negative 2. Let's leave it over there. I don't want to confuse things. Okay. And there we go. So now let's get into step number 3. Oh, that was number 2. Let's go to step number 3. Okay, got to do it again. How many times does 2x squared divide into a negative 2x squared? So again, let's write it out. Oh, sorry, I'm just running out of space. How many times does a negative 2x squared get divided by a 2x squared? Well, that's going to go in there -1 times, right? The x squareds divide out. -2 divided by 2 is just going to be -1. So therefore, that's going to be -1. And now we got to multiply that times both of those terms. So -1 times a 2x squared is a negative 2x squared. -1 times -1 is going to be a positive 1. So I'll align those together. And let's go ahead and subtract our rows. So when I go ahead and subtract our rows, that's going to go to 0. I can bring down this negative 3x. And negative 2 minus a 1 is going to be a negative 3. Minus a negative 3. And then now, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, what you can see is for my step number 4, which I guess I'll use this one, I cannot divide a 2x squared into a negative 3x, right? Look at this. If I have a negative 3x does not evenly divide into a 2x squared, right? So we can't do it. So this is going to be what we call our remainder. So I always like to go ahead and write this as plus, and then I'll just take my remainder, which is a negative 3x minus 3. And do you remember what we do with our remainder? We take the remainder and we put it over our divisor, which in this case is a 2x squared minus 1. Now, you could factor out a negative in this case and then rewrite that as a subtraction problem. That is perfectly fine. But there you go, ladies and gentlemen. There is your step-by-step process for long division, going from easy, easy, easy to kind of easy to more difficult. But hopefully you have a good understanding now of what to do and how you can do it on your own. But if you still want to watch more videos of me doing long division, or you're just interested with long division and synthetic division, then check out the next video I have for you here. And if you really want to go over some more beginning videos, then take a look at the videos I have for you down in the description below. Cheers.